I guess what I'll say to start is that there's a difference between bullying and harassment. Like, those are two completely different things, that are not the same. And there are a lot of cases where being bullied turns into harassment, and superiors or whatever just don't really do anything about it. And I do agree that's a problem, for sure. But, I was never bullied extensively by anyone who wasn't in my immediate family. Didn't happen. Honestly, I haven't always been this good looking, believe it or not. I grew up with, my teeth were really jacked up before I had braces. They are no longer, thanks Grandma. But, I was probably average looking as a child. Thankfully, I got glasses when I was like 10, but the correction was not that significant. And then I had glasses when I was like 12. Yeah, I was 12. I got braces. But by that point, I had already gotten contacts because I knew exactly when my eye doctor would allow his patients to get contacts because I just wanted them so badly. Clearly I got them. I think I've worn them in videos before. I just don't really wear them anymore. They're too much of a pain for me to wear, so I don't. But yeah, so growing up, I was kind of more average looking. I definitely looked like a child. You guys know that early puberty comes from not having your biological father in your life because dad's scent prevents you from developing early? If you don't have your bio dad in your life and you don't have his scent in your life, your body takes that as a threat, and then you do become sexually developed earlier in order to better attract a mate. It's biological, you guys, not psychological, okay? And I'm sure it doesn't happen 100% of the time, but it does happen frequently. Obviously, I had a present dad in my life. So I'm saying I didn't have precocious puberty is my point. But, yeah, I've never really been bullied. I also don't really comprehend the meaning of the word bully because, like I said a minute ago, there's bullying. There's saying like a mean comment here and there, and then there's actually harassing someone to the point of it being like frightening. I mean, obviously I can't. So I grew up in the 90s and the aughties, you guys. I'm really not that old, but I feel like bullying might have been worse like prior to that, but like I had this friend actually in college and she was from South Africa, and she had only ever seen, like, when she and I were friends, she had only seen, I don't think she had been to the US ever. She had only seen like American movies, and she was like, is that like when she we were watching a movie or a show or something and there was a kid getting bullied on like a bus, and she was like, does that really happen here? Like, do people really do that? And I was like, sometimes, but I never experienced it myself. I'm sure people did say, rude comments to me here and there. But the thing was that I was actually just so good at comebacks, fam, that it was not going to happen. Like, someone would say something stupid to me, and then I would say something even more stupid back to them, and they'd be like, oh shit, I'm not going to mess with her anymore. That really didn't happen very often. The meanest thing someone ever did to me in school, I was in middle school. So what happened was, we were all standing around talking because we would all hang out in this one area before school actually started. So me and a bunch of other girls were standing in a circle talking about really nothing important. Sorry, that's Smokey. He's a sad boy. I'll talk about him in a minute. We were talking about nothing important, and this girl who was actually at the time considered you could consider her very conventionally attractive at the time. I actually noticed that a lot of people who are super cute kids, like super cute as children, often grow up to be very, very average looking. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Obviously not all the time, but frequently I've noticed that. Anyway, so this one girl who was like popular and cute or whatever, who was talking in the circle with us, kids used to buy those donut boxes, those like boxes of like 6 donuts, teeny tiny donuts or whatever. And she had an empty box of those, and it was like she had torn it so it was flat, and she like put it on my head, and I just stared at her. I left it on my head. I didn't even take it off. I just left it on my head, and I stared at her so long that everyone in the whole circle started staring at her. And I was like, that's right, bitch. You don't fuck with me. Obviously, I didn't say that, but I feel like it was implied. But, you know, luckily, I just took it off, and then everyone moved on, and everything was fine, you know? This kitty, I don't think you can hear him crying, but we recently took in a kitty who, we had just seen around the neighborhood. He had an abscess on his back. We took him in, we took him to the vet. Unfortunately, little guy has, feline leukemia and is FIV positive. So, he's not going to live very long, but he's got his own room. But if you hear a cat crying, that's who it is. He wants me to hang out with him. I'm normally hanging out with him at this hour, but you guys are lucky I'm making a video, okay? Anyway, yeah, I really didn't get bullied. The only other time I really remember people making an annoying comment to me was, I'm pretty sure it was when we either ran the mile in gym class, or I had just gone to gym class, like, generally, and we were doing activities outside. And, like, y'all might have noticed, I'm pretty pale, like, putting that out there. But so, when I was going to my next class, a few kids, and most of them I didn't even know, they were like, "Whoa, your face is so red!" Like, just in passing. And I was like, yeah, I was just in gym class. That makes sense, doesn't it? But like, I just wouldn't, if that's why I'm not remembering anything, because if people really did make fun of me, I don't recall. And like I said, like, I wasn't always this good looking. So I had braces for a long time, which are considered, you know, not attractive. And then I had glasses also. There wasn't a lot of overlap because, like I said, I wore contacts because I didn't want to be a kid with braces and glasses, okay? I was opposed to that, like, personally. It wasn't anything anyone told me. I was just like, oh man, I don't want to do that, right? Anyway, the thing is that because I wasn't as conventionally attractive as I am now growing up, I really learned to use my brain, and I really learned to work on my personality, and I really learned to, you know, have other interests other than my appearance, because you can alter your appearance to a degree, but there gets to be a point where you cannot alter it, right? You guys, I kind of tried the makeup thing. When was that? I guess it was in high school. I kind of tried it, but I was like, I can't be bothered with this. Honestly, my vision has never been that great. I mean, like I said, the correction at like age 10 was not very significant, so I didn't really need to wear glasses to start when I got them in elementary school. But what was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, well, I mean, you guys have obviously seen me do my makeup. Okay, I've done face paint on here before, but like, contacts were kind of enough of a struggle, right? Because that's a fine motor skills thing that you have to do. And I was like, if I'm putting on contacts, fam, I ain't putting on anything else. By the way, like, I noticed if I wore contacts and I wore makeup, it would irritate, my eyes would get irritated sooner than if I didn't wear makeup. So I was like, I can't be bothered with this shit. But yeah, I did attempt to wear makeup at one point. And I did wear it like here and there periodically, but like I just can't be bothered with that shit. Thankfully, the Lord has also blessed me with good looks, so it's not like I need makeup or anything. But anyway, I also noticed in school that like the popular kids, people who would refer to them as the popular kids, first of all, they weren't even that popular. Like they did have kind of a big like friend group, but they weren't like friends with everyone. And I thought being friends with everyone was like, or friends with like a lot of people, or friendly to a lot of people was much cooler than just like having, 5 or 6 friends or whatever. But what I was gonna say was I noticed that these people who were considered popular were just wealthy. Like they just wore nice clothes and wore nice makeup. That made them popular, but I was like, that's not actually being popular. Anyway, so maybe I'm not one to talk here since I was not, in fact, habitually bullied by anyone. But like I said, if anyone said anything rude to me, I just didn't let it get to me. And I didn't, like, obsess over it or care that much. Yeah, sorry, I'm not thinking of any specific time where I was bullied, but yeah, there was never any like harassment level bullying towards me. I do think harassment level bullying is really fucked up and wrong, and especially when kids get physical, which they often can, like that's really concerning when a kid is like, I'm honestly kind of more worried about a child who, like, it's more concerning to me if a child is like constantly seeking others out and like also constantly starting fights with others. Like I'm saying the bully, there's something fucked up going on with the bully if he or she is like constantly trying to have physical fights with other kids. Like that's very twisted, right? Anyway, and if you're being bullied for like a legitimate reason, like maybe there's some truth in that. Like I don't know if this is the best example, and it's not exactly bullying for that matter, but I don't know if you guys ever watched that show What Not to Wear. I loved that show. You could argue it was kind of like a bullying show where they would take women. There were only very few episodes of men, but they would take women who were nominated by their friends or family or coworkers, and they would go on this show, and the hosts would like berate and like insult all of their clothing because a lot of them dressed horribly. They dressed really badly. Like this one woman, I remember she had some kind of very corporate job, and she would dress horribly to work all the time, and they said that like her coworkers said that when they would have important meetings, she would wear a tracksuit to the meetings. And like, fam, if you did that in my corporate office, you're getting a talking to and or you're getting fired. Like, how dare you show up to an actual meeting wearing a tracksuit? Are you kidding me? But yeah, they would be like, you look horrible in this. You can't wear it. Or you know what, you can wear it, but it's giving off a certain type of message. And I remember this one gal, I forgot her name. But she, if I remember correctly, she was the only person to make Clinton cry, one of the hosts, while they were going through her wardrobe. Like, she was just being so... Okay, first of all, she dressed like a hooker, honestly. Or she dressed like... This woman was above 25, and she dressed like a Playboy bunny. Wearing, like, really short dresses, like, really short skirts, like... And she also was either... She was studying to become a lawyer, or she had some kind of court courtroom job. And it's like, and she would wear those kind of clothes, but like in a lawyer way, into court. Anyway, Clinton was like, they were going through her stuff, and then he fucking started crying because she was being such a cunt to him and being like, no, I like my clothes. It's like, no, you look absolutely horrible. You look like a high schooler, like cosplaying having a courtroom job. That's not fucking professional, mate. But anyway, I'm saying, like, is that bullying, right? I wrote, was that on Threads or on, I can't remember if it was on Threads or on X. I think it was on X. Anyway, at one point I wrote, I will call anyone a dumb bitch who's pro-pornography. Because I will. I will. You are a dumb bitch if you're pro-porn. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And you deserve to hear that. You deserve to hear me saying, hey, you're a dumb bitch for being pro-porn. Period. You deserve to hear me say, hey, you're a dumb bitch for believing in gender and perpetuating this gender retardation. You're a dumb bitch for that. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys watch Cosmic Nebula, but she is back. She's back. I would shake you, but that would ruin my shot. She's back. I love her. She's hilarious. She's awesome. She's fun. She is so refreshing because she does not fuck around. She doesn't pussyfoot around. I'm really tired of people pussyfooting around, by the way. I read some, I don't read it anymore because it makes me too annoyed, but I've read some Am I Overreacting and Am I the Asshole Reddit posts. And I would say close to 100% of the time, if not 100% of the time, I'm like, my reaction to those is like, you really made that title, wrote this down, wrote this out, posted it, let people respond to it, and you still don't have the answer? You don't even have to say let people respond to it. You don't even have to say posted it, but like you wrote this whole thing out and you don't know if you're the asshole or not, or you don't know if you're overreacting or not. Really. Most of the time on those types of posts, it's someone who has something going on in their life and others are being very rude to them about it. Or they're saying they want to do something a certain way and someone who's rude to them is like, no, I don't want you to do it that way. I want you to do it this way. And they're like, am I overreacting? Am I being the asshole? It's like, no, you're saying what you want. Someone else is being a brat to you and saying they don't want to do it the way you want to do it. And you're asking if you're the asshole? Like, whenever I stopped, I never really responded to those, but usually when I did respond to them, a few times when I did respond to them, I was like, no, you're not overreacting. Whoever named in this post is being annoying and you should stop having a relationship with them. Period! Okay? Honestly, I really don't know why people... I'm being serious right now. I really don't know why people continue having other people in their lives when they know for a fact, or it's pretty apparent for a fact, or they're like able to write an Am I the Asshole Reddit post about it. I'm like, why do you still have that person in your life? Like, it's not the first time Aunt Janice has insulted your house, right? It's not the first time your significant other has humiliated you, right? It's not the first time this, that, and the third. That's not like a new thing, but people are like, am I the asshole? Am I overreacting? You know what? Even if you are the asshole and even if you are overreacting, you probably still don't want that person in your life. Sorry. Yeah, so I've noticed that, and I know I've said this before, you guys, okay, so chill out. But honestly, I've noticed that a lot of female relationships, a lot of women relationships, like women friend relationships, are super, super shallow and super, super surfacey. And I am 1,000,000% not here for it. Like, I won't entertain that shit. Like, I've noticed, okay, I'll tell you guys this. I was noticing this, a few years ago when I was still dating. I had some women friends, right? Women who I thought were my friends. And every time we would hang out, it would be like a giant complaint session for them about the guys they were trying to date, the guys they did date, the guys they were interested in, the guys they hooked up with, that kind of thing. They were just like going on and on about that kind of thing. And I'm like, and I did have some, things to contribute. I'd be like, oh yeah, this guy did this to me, but it would be something that happened like 5 months before, or something that happened like over a year before. But I'm like, why? I'm like, you really consider this to be like a genuine relationship? Is like, we're just here to like complain about dudes that you're like, first of all, I wasn't trying to date. I was trying to get married. I was trying to be in a serious relationship, right? But, and all these women who were a lot of the time older than me would be like dating all these losers and be like, I can't find the right guy. I'm like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, because you're fucking around. I don't know what to tell you. I wish I had said that to them because they would have deserved it. But every time, here's something else, you guys, is people have told me their relationship beefs or whatever's going on in their relationships. Sheila, are you okay? You want to go out? You can go out. Bye, love you. See you in a bit. Oh, you can go out too. You want to go? Bye. See ya. I've talked to a lot of people in the past who have been like, oh, my relationship, blah, 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 like where they're having trouble with it or whatever. And I've been like, well, this. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know. And then months later, or even like a year or later, whatever, they would come to me and be like, Leah, you were right that time when I told you about so-and-so. And I was like, yeah, no shit. Okay, so I don't even know if I'm getting at the subject matter here, but if someone is objectively wrong, let's tell them that. If someone is objectively fucking up, let's tell them that. Like, I just don't understand why, like, people consider a friendship, like, good just because they've known someone for a number of years. Or just because that relationship is somehow, or it was more significant at one point and maybe isn't as significant anymore. I was going to tell you guys something. Oh yeah, okay. I used to have this friend, and for no reason at all, she fucking took up smoking cigarettes at like age 28. And I would get on her case about it all the time. I'd be like, you've got to quit. I can't believe you started that. That's so stupid. And she had a niece that she hung out with a lot who was, I can't remember how old she was. She was like 8 to 10 at the time. I was like, you're being such a bad example for her. Blah, blah, blah. You got to stop. And she was like, she would get really mad at me about it. She'd be like, oh, well, I'm like, dipshit, you know smoking is bad. Like, don't be mad at me for telling you the truth. Why are you mad at me? Anyway, I'm glad I got made fun of by what's his name and what's her name, because probably more followers. And I'm obviously right about everything transgender and all the gender bullshit, alphabet mafia bullshit. So, maybe if you're getting bullied about something, like, you need to reassess your life. I'll tell you guys something else. I had a job a while ago, and a ton of office jobs, like, make you do all this obnoxious, like, training and do all these stupid, like, videos and stuff. and you like have to watch them in order to work there, continue working there. Like it's a requirement to waste precious work hours watching these stupid ass videos. But anyway, I heard this one, I don't remember if this was in a video or it was a woman like actually talking about this, but this woman was saying that she was getting harassed by her coworkers every day, and she would cry on the bus every day all the way home. And I was like, what the fuck am I hearing right now? Like, you can't say, hey, fuck off. Like, if someone is harassing you while you're at work, it is appropriate to sometimes say, fuck off. Go do your work. One time, this was not harassing at all, but now I'm remembering at that same job. One time, this guy who I didn't even know and I didn't even work with, and he was also much older than me, he and I would just sometimes say hi because we were in passing occasionally. And one time I wore contacts, which I didn't normally do. But he was like, oh, you're wearing contacts. And I was like, mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, you should wear them more often. And I was like, red fucking flag, first of all. And I was like, that really annoyed me. I was like, I don't even fucking know this guy, first of all. And how dare you say I should wear my contacts more often? Like, I was like, and that actually made me really mad. I didn't say anything at the time. I think I just ignored it completely. But I was like, if he fucking says that shit to me again, like, he's gonna get it. Like, for real. Like, you do not speak to me that way, okay? Period. It's not cool. And I love how these people who are, like, boo-hooing and shit about bullying are, like, one, letting it affect them, and two, not realizing that, like, maybe the bully is right. Like, obviously I'm right about all the gender horse shit. Obviously I'm right about all the the sex, not gender, like, the alphabet mafia horse shit. I fucking know all the fuck about it more than most people in the United States, okay? So, like, anyone who's like, oh, boo-hoo, I'm trans, oh, boo-hoo, I'm this, like, oh, boo-hoo, I'm that, guess what? I don't care, and the rest of the world doesn't care, and you're making weird shit up that, like, adults don't play pretend anymore, like, by the way. Like, by the way. That's like that woman who was like, I would just cry all the way home on the bus. I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't you tell them? Like, that's someone, if you're just letting people bully you and you're letting people say rude comments to you and it's getting to you, and you know what? Maybe they aren't even, like, intended to be rude comments, but you're taking it that way, and you can't tell someone to fuck off and stop, or you can't go to your boss and tell them to fuck off and stop. Like, I don't really feel bad for you. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, thanks for watching my video. Bye.